right, so we got some new folks in here. We got some folks who have not done the accountability program. So this is we call it our next level accountability program. This is something that's a part of your membership that helps us keep you dialed in more than you probably normally would be beyond the workout side of things. I'm going to explain that a little bit more as we go through it, but I want to start out with a story. So this is a guy on a paddleboard, if you can't tell, and there's a shark behind him. The shark's actually not relevant to the story. But if you came to this the goal setting, this is a little different from the goal setting workshop I did last January. But this story I told in that workshop. So I'm a part of, I get advised for business. So I'm held accountable in my business. I set goals each year and then break them into quarterly goals. And then I set monthly and weekly action steps to help me achieve those goals or to delegate those tasks to other people to help achieve those goals. And I have people that hold me accountable to that. It's a company that holds me accountable. So we meet 4 times a year in person as well. And one of those times we go somewhere that's, warm and nice. Like usually in January, February, we go down to Florida the last 2 years. And we stay at a resort or something like that. And then we have our meeting. And then we also have time where each of us has to give a presentation to the group. And then they vote best presenter and all that stuff at the end. I won this last year. Just throwing that in there. But there's one guy who is a part of the company. His name's Ryan Ketchum. He's no longer with the company, but he's a good dude. He's really, really smart marketing whiz. He's also a former Division I All-American shot putter in track. So generally, they're big people, right? They got to be big and strong and explosive to be able to launch that ball that they're going to throw. So picture a big, strong guy, and I think he's like 6'5", like he's a big, towering guy. And when we go to this meeting, everybody does their presentations, but we also do, we do stuff outside of the meeting too. And they take us all on this, like we can participate in little activities together. So one of them we did was paddleboarding, and it was some of us were able to canoe and some of us were able to paddleboard. So being I was the only one from North Carolina, I knew what paddleboarding was like. Personally, I don't like the paddleboard. I feel like it's too much work. If I'm going, unless I'm there to work out, I'll do it. If I'm going to relax, I would lay down on the paddleboard and take a nap. Like my wife and I have actually done that. We've paddled up in a little canal and gone to sleep. But so I got the canoe and we were cruising around on the waterway down in Florida. I think it was a waterway. It might have been a big lake. But there was all these little streams and stuff off to the side. So they give you a map with a path on it to go on so that you can go all the way across this big body of water and go on these little canals and stuff and see all this cool stuff and wildlife. And then you come back down some other canals. So Ryan is from Indiana. He's never paddleboarded in his life, so he chose the paddleboard. And so he starts out on his knees and he's paddling out. We got somebody else in our party who just drifted way off down that way who works with him. So he had to go retrieve her and bring her back to the group, so he was already a little bit tired. But we had done this whole trip all day. We came back and we were going through this real small canal, so you could picture it to be about as wide as this rubber flooring right here. And it's just trees, these different types of trees and stuff all over top of you, so it's completely shaded. The water's probably only like this deep most of the way. So he's in front leading the pack, and then myself and another guy right behind him in our canoes, and we're just cruising, and we watch him, and he just starts going like this. His paddleboard is just all over the place. And Ryan's like a big, tough guy. He's got kind of a short fuse, so he's very, very frustrated. He's cussing up a storm because he cannot go straight to get to where he wants to go to save his life. No matter what he does, he's losing. He falls off. Is the funniest thing in the world. He falls off his board probably 3 or 4 times. He's about to pick it up and just want to crack it over his knee. He gets back on it. He's just on his knees. He's paddling. And then finally, probably like a good half an hour to an hour later than we should have, we got back to where it was supposed to get. Sure enough, when he gets back, he flips it over, and the fin from the bottom of the board is gone. We have no idea when he lost his fin, but that fin is what directs the board. And he completely lost it. So he had no direction, and his path was like this the whole time, and he was incredibly frustrated and about to lose his mind. We got a lot of enjoyment out of it. We were crying, laughing behind him. But he didn't. It was very, very frustrating for him. And I think when people set goals, or they have something in mind they want to do, that tends to be the way the journey looks. We don't have something to direct us and to keep us on track as we're traveling through the water on our paddleboard and we're going. So I'm hoping that with this workshop today, you don't end up being like Ryan on your board without a fin, going nuts in the water and losing your mind and getting frustrated because you're stuck where you're at or because you just can't seem to get there without putting in a million extra steps. So I'll teach you how to set goals today. This is not a super sexy process. It's not like life hacking. It's nothing. It's a simple step-by-step thing that we're going to do. We're going to work on these sheets together, and y'all are going to work on them together and talk a little bit as long as you're willing to share with each other. And we'll get into it moving forward. So before we begin, I need to make sure that everybody here, this is a quarterly program that we do. I'm going to start doing these. I'll probably do the workshop once a quarter, but what I'm trying to do is get as many people into this program so that we can help as many people as possible. And doing this workshop allows us to do that a little easier than doing a lot of the one-on-one meetings. However, we'll still keep doing that. But we do this every quarter, so we'll meet with you once face-to-face each quarter, and we'll help you set goals, or at least just talk about habits to work on towards a specific goal, because that's usually where we need to go with most people. And then we'll hold you accountable to that. And that involves you checking in with me and potentially at some point other coaches once per week through a little form that we do, which will be coming to you a little bit differently this quarter. I'll have some different questions than it has in the past. But we need you to check in once per week to stay dialed in. Even if your whole week sucked and you ate like 10,000 calories every day, depending on what your goals are, still check in. It'll keep you dialed into the program and help you keep it top of mind. We're going to talk about the importance of that in just a little bit. So if you're here today, hopefully by the time you leave here, you're willing to commit to doing that once per week. The summertime's not an easy time to do that. Everybody's got distractions in the summer. Everybody's got family in town. Everybody has vacations to go on. Everybody wants to go to the beach. Everybody wants to get on the boat. Everybody almost wants to drink beer or wine or mixed drinks. Okay, everybody wants to do that. So if you do it, it's okay. I'm not scolding you for it. I'm going to drink beer this
summer. So that's why the exercise happens, so the wine can happen at night.
So if that happens, then the exercise is almost pointless. But we're kind of touching that a little bit. But the point I was wanting to make by saying that is that everybody's dealing with that stuff. It's not just you. So don't allow that to weigh so heavily on you because you didn't work out one day or you ate poorly because you decided to go out on the boat instead or something like that. That it drags you down and then causes you to try to go without the next day, or God, I keep forgetting this word. I've said this statement like to 12 people lately. Don't starve yourself the next day. Does that make sense? Be okay with it. Understand that you're part of a greater humanity than just